1,771 days ago, I retired from the NFL after another Pro Bowl season. Now, I was staring down my third surgery in 4 years, but there was a lot of other things happening behind the scenes that made me question a lot of things. I didn't want to focus on kicking a ball when the offense failed anymore. I wanted to spend my time chasing fulfillment. Although the NFL was awesome, I'm incredibly grateful for being a part of the NFL. It reset all the bills for my family and my friends, but I wanted to chase fulfillment. I wanted to chase that feeling that you get whenever somebody disappears from their life for a moment and has a smile. I wanted to chase the philanthropic goals that everybody has to make the world a better place. I wanted to chase something alongside my friends. And when I retired from the NFL, there was some skeptics, obviously.
Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
And although I had 750,000 Twitter followers, I'd already done a full stand-up tour. I had my own show, my own podcast, a merch store. Not one network was interested whenever I reached out and said, hey, I'm retiring. Would you mind having a punter on your air? So much so that I was actually going to build my own app, have the wireframe still at this point. I was going to charge $1 a month, and I was going to create podcasts and content that my people that followed me on Twitter would potentially get to enjoy. I just wanted to have a good time in retirement because now no networks wanted me. I'll have to build my own goddamn thing. Dave Portnoy, Erica Nardini found out about this, reached out to me and said that I would be the perfect person to potentially come work at Barstool. Since no other network wanted me, come to Barstool, you can learn the internet and then maybe you can go on and do your own thing. I didn't want to move to New York. I wanted to live in Indiana. So we had Barstool Heartland, an umbrella company under Barstool, and we got a chance to learn about how the internet operates. And although I wasn't there, I was incredibly lucky to be a part of that company in the time that I was there, when I was there, and how I was there. I broke off, did my own thing, and my group of men, who I am so incredibly proud of, dudes that quit their jobs to move to Indiana, to chase this dream of creating entertainment, to creating content, to making an escape for people every single day. Boys committed their entire being to this office. We've been going dolo now as our own independent operation for about 3 years. And every single day, the boys will come in here with the same mindset, the same mission. We want to work hard and we want to create shit that makes people forget about life for a little bit. And if we end up making money, sweet. I mean, obviously, you need to do such a thing. It was in this office, obviously, that I practiced jumping off of the top there onto this crash pad so that whenever I was in a War Games match, I wouldn't break my fucking back. It was in this same office that Billy McComas tackled a trash can right here in the middle of our COVID Olympics in the office. It's in this office, right over there, where Gumpy debuted his new haircut. That was just yesterday. Looks good, Gump. This office is a melting pot of opinions, of people, of cultures, of backgrounds, of socioeconomic statuses. And this office has been the greatest thing I've ever been a part of in my entire life. I never thought that I would be a boss, an entrepreneur, a businessman, what? Contract negotiator, what? I never thought that I would do any of that, but once you start doing it, you start realizing that you're not just looking out for them, they're looking out for you. My group of guys were on planes 6 times a week because I thought it was the right decision to be on Get Up, Thursday Night Football, and College Game Day, while still having an everyday show, losing $1 million for our company, but because I thought the exposure would potentially lead people back to our show, which would potentially grow our audience, grow our community, and hopefully, inevitably, create more fulfillment as we make people's lives a little bit better. When I decided to take a WWE opportunity, and they were down in the Thunderdome in Tampa Bay, Florida, we bought a house. Zito put an entire studio in the living room, didn't blink, had a show, didn't just have a show, had our biggest show, our Draft Spectacular, where 137,000 people watched along as we did the dumbest draft content in the history of draft content, but we were 3 times larger than anybody else that was going live at the same time. All because Zito, Foxy, and all the boys said, yeah, we can make this happen. That's kind of what we've done this entire time. Just make it happen. Couldn't have done it without all of you. I couldn't have done it without all the boys. And although the future wasn't always figured out for us, To be clear, I've always been a checkers player, not a chess player. Everybody kind of dogs the checkers mentality where you're just trying to get over whatever's in front of you because that's where your full focus is, and then you worry about the next move when you get there, and all you're trying to do is get to the back row, king me, then you're coming back. That's how I've always viewed it. What is right in front of us right now? Where do we need to go? And there's probably been much better leaders of people that have been able to kind of zoom out and have this entire grand vision. For us, we didn't have a blueprint. We didn't have an idea. We just knew that we were a group that would be on the same page and go for it. And now I'm here to tell you the big announcement. After one negotiation, this is a rather huge call. That first negotiation was setting the table, by the way. You know, I was wearing cowboy boots. I was sitting down right over there, just setting the table on what the expectations were from either side between FanDuel and I, knowing in the world that we live what sports gambling is going to become and what our show is. Then it led to a second negotiation where I actually said this in the middle of the negotiation. This is actual clip from the second negotiation. To be candid and transparent, this is a hilarious amount of money, okay? Yeah. Somebody like me is not supposed to be getting this money, but I also know that this money is gonna go to somebody. Then there was follow-up emails and texts, and it led to a phone call where I was sitting in fucking Kansas that said, hey, we have agreed to terms. And finally, after reading through the contract alongside CFO Phil, who has been an absolute stud reader since we were in second grade, literally together, in GATE, gifted and talented education, I believe is what it is. Phil was always at the top of the class. He was reading these contracts. I was reading these contracts. We were sending question marks back on the contract. What does this mean? Can you please send that back in English, please? We did not go to any law schools. An agreement was met, and it is historic. And what I said in the second negotiation is still true to this day. We just got paid an absurd amount of money. And what that money says is they don't own our company at all. FanDuel is still our exclusive sportsbook partner, but they just want us to lock in the fact that we will continue to do this show how we want to do it, maybe in a bigger way in the FanDuel Igloo, which we will be moving into in about 4 or 5 months for at least 3 years. 4-year deal, 3-year opt-out. We want to keep the show how it is. We would like to fund it. We want to be the exclusive sports book of that show. So I am here to say that not only did we just get broken off, we found a little consistency. We'll be doing this show for the time to come. We'll be doing it hopefully in a bigger way. We'll be doing it our own way. We'll still have all of our other partners. They're giving us money to go on live show events and make live shows happen around the country so we can get out and meet everybody. I can't fucking wait for it. And whenever you get an entire bag of cash, okay, this is a big one. And I don't think I need to say the exact amount of money. It'll get leaked out. But big shout out to everybody who has come before us in this particular field, who did their negotiations with their companies, because it really set the table for all of us. And shout out to all of the internet companies who have run their own thing for a long time, all of the truly actual independent companies who've had to grind. I know there's a lot of shows out there right now that are small. We were once very, 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 very small. You have just as much talent as everybody else. You're more talented than the people that just get viewers whenever they're on TV. Keep grinding, keep going. We kept going, and now we get a chance to, you know, that McDuck thing into the gold coins. When you get too much money, you know, like quarterback money, what the fuck do you do with it? You know, what do you do? And there's a lot of reflection, you know, a lot of time with my wife, a lot of time with my friends saying, hey, I think we're about to get paid this amount of money from just this company, let alone all of our other partnerships, our merch company, our live touring potential, everything else. This is the amount of money we're about to get from this company just so we continue to gamble there. What are we supposed to do with that? It's time to give back, baby. I've reflected upon my life, who made me, who helped me get to where I am right now, who helped create the human that I am that maybe, you know, wasn't always the easiest to deal with. I was a wild child, an active child. I was never scared to tell somebody to go fuck themselves, literally since I was a little kid. So whenever I looked back upon my life, I knew that there was a lot of places that helped create me, a lot of people that helped create me, and I wanted to give back in a big way. First things first, I grew up playing soccer, Plum area soccer. Let's go ahead and give them $200,000. I went and played youth football over there for about 3 weeks. It introduced me to the game. I was pretty good. Tone Diggs was my teammate. Look at that photo. Let's go ahead and give them $150,000. Hey, there's a youth lacrosse now in Plum Borough. Oh my God, I want them to do well. Let's give them $150,000. Youth wrestling in Plum, let's give them $100,000. Youth basketball in Plum, let's give them $100,000. Youth baseball, I didn't play, but CFO Phil did, and now Lil Phil does. Let's give them $100,000. And for the high school and junior high athletes, I think it's only right that we're all Mustangs here. I had a great time playing high school sports. I was honored to represent my high school. I used to get a lot of things said to me by opposing teams' fans because of where I came from. And I never really thought that, athletics was the priority in anybody's minds at Plum High School. I might have been wrong. So I reached back out to the high school and said, how can we help? How can we make this happen? And we reached out directly to the teams and the boosters to keep out the school board and the superintendent and all that. How do we get the money to go directly to the teams and to the players and to the kids that could potentially be future me's? How do we keep people in sports through high school? How do we keep people engaged and active? How do we make their life better? Oh, okay, quick. We'll have a $2 million We're All Mustangs Here fund that they can tap into via an email if they want new swag, new travel, new this, new that. Whatever can make high school athletes' lives better at Plum, they can tap into it, apply for it, and get at least $2 million. That thing's probably gonna keep going until the end of time. That's pretty sweet. Where'd I go after Plum? Well, I went down to Morgantown, West Virginia. And there was this place in Morgantown, West Virginia, where I learned what it felt like to serve the community. Bill Stewart was a man who was one of my coaches, rest in peace. He was a tight ends coach and special teams coordinator my first 3 years. Then my senior year became a head coach, and he was always big and give back to the community. So there was this children's hospital directly across the street from Milan Puskar Stadium, where players would get to go over there and interact with the kids that were much tougher than all of us and see how it felt to give back and put a smile on their face. It was the first place I ever truly served the community. So we got to give them $1 million. Then when I come out to Indianapolis, Indiana, there was one man on the team that was nice to me, that shouldn't have been nice to me. And he even told me like, hey, Red 18 is gonna hit in this particular casino in Indiana and we're all gonna be heroes for the night. Peyton Manning has a children's hospital. He helped me out immensely. His work ethic, from me watching him, made me better. Him being cool to me made me better. Him doing everything he did to embrace and welcome me to Indianapolis made my life better. How about $1 million to the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital? And on the defensive side of the ball, Robert Mathis, OG, Q-Dog. How you doing? Keep it moving. Defensive end. Ha! Strip sack king. One of the most intimidating motherfuckers I've ever seen in my entire life. He kind of gave me the nod of approval in the locker room as well. As a rookie punter who didn't know what the hell I was doing, he kind of gave me the okay for everybody else. He has something called the Original Gridiron Gang, which is allowing, people that don't have the ability to train and go to camps alongside NFL certified coaches, whether it's troubled neighborhoods, backgrounds, whatever the case, he has camps for them. In Indianapolis, he absolutely crushes it. Cool, $1 million over there as well. $100,000 a year in scholarships so kids can go have camps and maybe get better and find a better life through learning something that they would have never had the access to do. But that's not all. I did a lot of work with Wish for Our Heroes. They were a fucking incredible bunch of people. Let's give them $200,000. Let's give the Coburn place right down the road here an incredible safe haven that I only got to work with once or twice, but I found so much inspiration in. Let's give them $150,000. For the brand, my wife and I's foundation that takes care of payments for families that are going through canine cancer treatments because they're absurd, and I learned that via my dog Valerie. Let's give $250,000 there. I'd be remiss if I didn't, thank the boys. Evan Foxy is currently holding an iPhone right now. His hands are starting to shake a little bit. I think it's only right that they see some, benefit from their incredible hard work and their loyalty and their dedication and their significant others understanding that it's going to be a lot of hours to work on the internet. It's going to take a lot of time to check your phone all day, every day. It's not going to be easy whenever you have a boss who expects you to be positive and happy every single day and to bring juice. I think they should all get, $250,000 bonuses, right? Yeah. $250,000 bonuses for all of them. Also, I think as a kid, especially where I come from, you always think to yourself, I should take care of my parents. And Tim and Sally are learning this right now while watching this video. You're millionaires. So congratulations. Tim went from driving trucks, Sally being a secretary. We had a house at the bottom of the hill of a hilly town, 700 square feet, remortgaged the house 5-6 times just so I can continue to do sports, hand-me-down city, but all they did was work and never ask anybody for anything. It's an absolute dream come true for me to be able to do this. I can't wait to see what they do with, 7 figures all of a sudden in their bank account. I'm sure Tim and Sal will handle that well. And last but not least, everybody that's watching this video right now, you have no fucking idea how thankful I am that you allow us dumbasses into your life. Whenever we started this, we could have never fathomed how big it would get, how quickly it would get there. I think we all had a lot of confidence when we all quit our jobs to do this, that it was gonna work. We didn't know how, we didn't know why, but we had no clue that we would get to the point that we would get to. We have people from all over the world that watch this fucking show. We have people from every single political background that watch this show, every age bracket, every socioeconomic class. We like to think that we're a unifier. And we like to think that we can be a place that you can come and forget about everything. But I don't think you should forget about this. Starting right now, if you tweet a picture of when you started watching the show from a clip, either previously or a tweet previously, whenever you got involved in watching this show, screenshot that, tweet it out using hashtag PMSFanDuelFamily. I'm gonna give away $1.5 million. Let's have an incredible life. We are incredibly thankful. It is from this office in which a lot of stupidity was created. The FanDuel Igloo will be next, still in Indianapolis. And thank you all for everything. Thank the boys for everything. Thank my family for everything. Thank all the people that have been a part of my life for everything. And we're only getting started. Cheers.